Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Lawyer's Law for Students. I'm Shubhajit Banik and I'm a lawyer. As I've always told you, this channel is for the youngsters who take on the examinations, be it a judicial examination, be it AIBE, CLAT, all law exams, right? We're just to discuss, talk and help each other. Well, I'm also gaining, I'm learning from the entire exercise. But before I start, I need to tell you that today's video comes with a change. What is that change? Listen carefully. The videos now would be very short and crisp, detailing each topic which we take one by one, and they would continue to be uploaded in a sequence. All right. Now you would be startled to know that the number of subscribers I have, the number of non-subscribers are far more than that, and I keep on receiving calls what to do and what not to do. In fact, I have been receiving calls to make customized videos. Yes, we'll take it forward later, not at the present. We'll talk, let the numbers flow in. But from this day onwards, the pattern of the videos would change. See, today is the month of April, and we talk about a law which was born in the month of April. Yes. We talk about the Indian Contract Act. All right. See, there's an academic part to it, which you must know. There's an analytical part to it, which you'll understand as you go through the provisions, as we discuss and understand. And there would be another part to it, and that is the applicability part of it. So once we all go ahead and take on the exams, or be it we practice in the courts, the entire thing, all the things, the academic part of it, the understanding part of it, and applicability part of it, these three are linked in a change. Okay. Let's talk about a time, long time ago. All right. At that time in India, there were presidency towns. Yes, presidency towns. Presidency towns of Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. Clear? Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. Not Kolkata, Chennai, or Mumbai. It's Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. When the courts of justice were introduced, then long back, the court at Calcutta was called the Supreme Court, and the courts at Bombay and Madras were called the Recorder's Court. Right? Recorder's Court. So what happened? The English, they introduced the English law. The English introduced the English law and the statute law relating to contracts as applicable to the Indian conditions. All right. Now these laws were used to determine the contracts as within Hindus and Mohammedans. All right. Am I clear with that? The English introduced the English law and the law, the statute relating to contracts as applicable to Indian situations and all. And then these were applied on Hindus and Mohammedans. Now, conflicts came. There were difficulties were coming up. To remove these difficulties, the statute of 1781 and the statute of 1797 empowered, respectively, the Supreme Court. 1781 empowered the Supreme Court, that's a court of Calcutta, court at Calcutta. And the Recorder's Court were empowered by the 1797 statute to determine contracts of Mohammedans by their customary law, personal law, and to determine the contracts of the Hindus by their customary laws and usages. Right? But again, this led to a lot of conflicts. Again, the problems were not being solved. So what was done? Basically, the idea was to supersede the English law of contract and bring in our laws. But the problems were there. So, the need was felt that a comprehensive law should come in, and the Indian Contract Bill was introduced. Right? It received its assent on the 25th day of April 1872. That's exactly 148 years ago. This is April 2020. And in April, 25th of April, 1872, right, the Indian Contract Act was born, right? It received its assent. The act came into play. Now, this much is academic, but you need to know. The understanding needs to be comprehensive, but the foundation should be correct. Okay. Now, the Indian Contract Act applies to the whole of India, except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Clear? We will understand the entire law of contract with very many different concepts, very many different situations, very many different illustrations, but slowly and steadily. This is a very introductory video. The rest will be different. We'll talk about 5 keywords in the sequence PAPCA. PAPCA, PAPCA. Remember the word PAPCA for the rest of your life in the sequence PAPCA, PAPCA. What's it? Proposal, acceptance, promise, consideration, and agreement. All right? Proposal, acceptance, promise, consideration, and agreement. It becomes a contract. When? How? What is a void contract? What is voidable contract? What's a valid contract? What are the elements of a contract? Different concepts, different illustrations. A lot of things come into play now. In a jiffy, I explain you the terms: proposal, acceptance, promise, consideration, agreement. These are more than enough now. See, if I express my willingness to you to do something or abstain from doing something, I am expressing my willingness to you to do something or not to do something. It's not a proposal unless I seek your assent to it. The moment I express to you my willingness to do something or to abstain from doing something with the thing that I'll get your assent to it, it becomes a proposal, right? Okay. Now if you accept my proposal, it becomes an acceptance, right? Easy. Okay. The moment you accept my proposal, what I tell you that I'll do something, my willingness to do something or my willingness to abstain from doing something becomes a promise, all right? It becomes a promise. I become the promiser, you become the promisee. Clear? So proposal, acceptance, and promise, preliminary, it's clear? Clear. Now, consideration. For the term consideration, understand in 3 situations. If at my desire, you had done something or had abstained from doing something, that's a past. Do something or abstain from doing something, it's a present. Or you promise to do something or to abstain from doing something in the future. So past, present, future. The concepts of doing an act, abstaining from doing an act, or in the future, promise. So these 3 things become a consideration. How? It needs simple illustration. Okay. Now an act of doing something. How it becomes a consideration. An act, my willingness to do an act, it becomes a consideration. Right? How? I tell you, you sell 50 kgs of potatoes to Mr. X on credit. Right? And I'm willing to stand guarantee to it. So my willingness, I express to you, I'm willing to stand guarantee for it. It is my thing. And you sell 50 kgs of potatoes to Mr. X on credit. All right. So your act of selling the potatoes to Mr. X becomes my consideration. All right. The act becomes a consideration. Am I clear? My willingness to do something and your act of selling 50 kgs of potatoes to Mr. X. All right. Mr. X on credit. That was a condition was put. It becomes a consideration for me. Right? Now, when this might seem a little bit difficult initially, but later on, when we have many illustrations, and each angle we'll try to discuss with illustrations, it becomes crystal clear to you. See, I'm not an expert. We are each helping each other. We're all helping each other. Okay. Now, act of abstinence. How it becomes a consideration. If I tell you, hey, listen, I'll not institute a suit against you if you pay me 5 lakhs. All right. If you pay me 5 lakhs. Now my abstinence is I will not institute a suit. That's an act of abstinence. All right. I'll not do something. So this becomes a consideration. Am I clear? Okay. Thirdly, say future. I tell you, I'll sell you my car for 3 lakhs and you accept it. It's a future promise. It becomes a consideration again. All right. I'm just giving hints. We'll go in detail, but in different chapters. Am I clear? So once the things are gone, the proposal, acceptance, promise, and consideration part is gone, the promises or set of promises, they form an agreement. Right? What I would do, what you would do, how we would do it, when to be done, what would be the consideration, what, etc. They become promises. These become in turn an agreement. If that agreement is legally enforceable, right? It becomes a contract. Am I clear with that? If it's not, it becomes void. And when it becomes voidable, we'll talk later. We'll not go there. So basically, we've understood PAPCA, proposal, acceptance, promise, consideration, and agreement. All these things together becomes an agreement. The agreement part, when I say it becomes a contract, it becomes a contract only when the agreement is legally enforceable. So just the basic outlines I've talked with an academic angle of the contract. And before we move on to subsequent videos where we talk about the Contract Act, you do let me know what are your takes on it, how do you like it and all. So do we need to proceed with other acts also simultaneously? We'll do so. Lockdown is a good time for me to sit back at home and do all these things. I'm studying, in fact, for you. Right? Thank you. And do keep telling me what to do next. It helps. Because as I earlier said, the number of subscribers and the number of non-subscribers are growing more, right? And so far about the customers video is concerned, we'll think about that later, not at this point of time. Let us go ahead with some chapters and some acts, basic things. We'll come again. Do let me know. Do like, share and subscribe, right? Thank you so much. Keep in touch.